Hello, welcome back to some Paradoxes Black Gaming at some Satisfactory. We're back at the Black Box Factory here, and actually today, uh, at this recording, I wanted to try something a little bit different than I've done before. Uh, my thought being that because I kind of wanted to make the content a little bit more interesting to watch, or at least listen to. Because I had a thought, I kind of want this to be something that I would listen to. And so I decided that I would write up a list of things that I want to just talk about. Predetermined list, call it the docket, where as I'm gaming here, I'll just every so often ramble along about whatever topic I set on the docket, which then whenever I think of some topic or something that I decide that I feel like I really want to talk about, I'll just add it to the document that I have on my phone right now. Tried uploading it to my computer, but it didn't want to be while I do some gaming. And hopefully not get too distracted from the game, but also make listening more entertaining. I don't want to be like just gaming in silence for several hours, and I know that I don't want that most people who are watching this don't want to sit in silence for several hours, as that would be non-ideal. And so today's subject, believe it or not, we'll start with playing D&D online. Now, how did I get into playing D&D online? Well, one day I kind of was... I hadn't been playing D&D for several months, and I was looking to get a fix. My usual friend group, we occasionally got together, but we weren't playing D&D anymore. And while I had no experience with playing D&D online, I had really wanted to try it at least once. And so I went, I literally just looked up D&D online. And that brought me to one of this website called startplaying.games. And, well, when I was, like, it showed a bunch of listings, and one of because of my days were pretty busy at that time, but my nights were pretty open, I was like, oh, let me see what's open. And I mean, I was checking the website at like 2 a.m. So it was showing all the listings for like 2 a.m. because it shows you all the listings that are just about to occur. Uh, and at first, I had like seen like this. It was like some horror one, and there was a few other ones, but one of the ones that caught my eye because it didn't have too many people in it yet, and I forgot what I was doing. It didn't have too many people in it, and a few people that were in it, it looked like their characters sounded like they were going to be pretty fun. It was called Stormbound. And then, well, I joined that campaign. It took a few weeks before it actually got enough people to start, which was okay. I didn't mind. It is. I wasn't in too much of a rush to get started. I mean, I had a character idea that I wanted to try, and DM was uh, graciously willing to try it out as well. And then, well, that's where I met my current DM, Nico. And I mean, I love this DM. He's absolutely wonderful. Does excellent voices. His stories are great. I look forward to every session. It's amazing. My first session was wonderful. We before the session actually, I got a 30-minute. I got into a call with the DM for like 30 minutes, discussing the character, going over what I expect to do with the character, my plans, my hopes, my goals, all that sort of jazz. And so then once we got my character established, I eventually should I remember here. Once I got my character established, that's when I got into we had the first few sessions. I loved the first few sessions. The first session of that campaign, we signed onto a ship, introduced each other. That was part of the introduction. I tried to communicate with several of the other players, tried to make possible connections between characters. Some of them that came through, some that didn't quite come through, or are coming to light even now. There. So, eventually, I ended up joining, as I said, 3 campaigns in total. And I am oh so grateful that I did, because I have been loving every session immensely. The second campaign that I joined was this one called they call it Wildmount. It's based on the Critical Role Wildmount Exandria world, whatever it's called. And so eventually, so after I joined the Exandria one and had my character for that one, I had another character that I wanted to try out. I love this DM, so I asked them if they would let me play in another one of their campaigns that they had announced that they were going to start. This one being called Icebound. It's in the same world as the Stormbound one, just a bit more icy, you'd say. And well, there is a bit of a similar premise, like that. There's a in the Stormbound one. There's this storm that comes every like 26 years, and it's part of the. It in some way affected our characters 10 years ago, and then we're now together. Uh, and we get to explore the world and just go wherever we end up going. The the Icebound one has a similar premise where there's this blizzard that is kind of like the same thing, where every 26 years there's an especially large blizzard comes through. And it grants its mystical powers and such. Okay, I may think. And then recently, I joined a one shot with the DM called Murder Ball, because he in our Alexandria game, he introduced this game called Murder Ball that we were that is it's a blast to play. It's like rugby, football, and D&D. And normally it's not something that I would have thought I would have enjoyed, but I enjoyed the session that we had with it, and so I had fun creating a character that I feel that would work pretty well in that environment. And I'll be able to get to that character later after I dealt with a bunch of this stuff here. Let me drag this over to there. I guess I should also mention lots of things that I should mention, right? In the time that I've been spending doing online D&D, I found that often communication is key. I found that it's often better to be communicating with the DM, get the issues out of the way as soon as possible. For example, like the other week or so, I addressed a concern I had with a event that occurred in the game. And how it made me feel as a player. And I came to a consensus with the DM about like why it's how it was. And I think they made their points, and I think their points are very much valid, and they addressed my points as well, and addressed their validity. Overall, it was definitely a lesson of the importance of communication. And how communication can often be critical to a good experience when playing D&D. And as part of communication, much of what I've done with the DM is worked with them to create amazing stories. And, uh, and I should have gotten a drink. But we'll be doing a lot of talking here. One good big point to make is that I found that part of that being on doing this online D&D has been a great opportunity for me to work with the DM to create something cool. And I hope that after I get into further detail about each of the campaigns, that you might agree. Or if you don't, I wouldn't mind if you told me. I mean, I don't get very many comments on these videos. Okay. Just going in circles now. And in creating something cool, I get lots of opportunity to be creative. And I think it's been tons of fun. Now, to start with my, actually, I think that'll conclude this. I want to keep these recordings a bit short so that they're a little bit more bite-sized, you know? So this will be a good stopping point for a part 1. In part 2, I'll go into greater detail about the Stormbound campaign, how it's been going, what I expect to happen, what I don't expect to happen, hopes and all that stuff. So, thank you for watching. Didn't do much. This was a shorter video for now. I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes. And I shall see you in part 2.